Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. And in today's video, the video you guys riot when I didn't post it last time. We had a great league around, and this time we have it here, the top teams in the open great league. So this video will prepare you for the league that everyone can afford, everyone can play, not everyone can like, because I feel like most people do not like great league, but it's the league where everyone can afford to play, and it's the league where if you only play this league you can hit legend. But the thing about this league is that it's always the meta is always subjective to change due to charge move changes from Niantic at the beginning of every season. So is it different than the meta from the last season? Is it the same? Well, we all know. We will know soon. My name is Yasser Elite. I'm a Twitch streamer. I stream on Twitch Monday, Friday, and during the weekend. I will be leaving the link to my Twitch in the description below, so feel free to give me a follow if you want to catch up with my live streams. So the main Pokemons in this league aren't that wide. So there are like a bunch of few Pokemons where people either run them or just run hard counter to them, or just run 3 meta Pokemons, because meta is good for a reason. So if a Pokemon is meta, that's because this Pokemon is too good. As an example for that, Medicham has been meta literally since preseason, even before that. Since the day this Pokemon was released, it's one of the best Great League Pokemon, and for many factors. One, it has a decent fast move pressure. It has counter, which is the best fast move in the game. It has ice punch, which gives it a coverage against the flyer. And since it's a fighter, it's supposed to lose to the flyers. But Medi can flip some fighters matchups if Medi has some energy lead. That's crazy. Well, that's why Medi is crazy good. Another example about that is Lantern. Lantern is the Pokemon that is shaping the meta in the open great league. So you either run Lantern or stuff that beat Lantern. Noctowl, another one. Those 3 are the main 3 Pokemons in the open great league. So as always, to make it easier for everyone, so that you can understand the meta more, I've divided into 3 different categories: lead, safe swap, closer. What's a good lead? A good lead is generally a Pokemon that has a decent fast move pressure with a baiting move and a nuking move. As an example, Pelipper. It has wing attack, it has Wither Ball. It's a charge move where Pelipper gets to throw a Wither Ball every 5, then 4 seconds. 5 seconds, and then the next one 4 seconds. Deoxys Defense. First charge move is Psycho Boost, one of the best charge moves in the entire game. 5 counters and you will be there. Medicham. Baiting move, Ice Punch, nuking move, Psychic, decent fast move pressure, Medi, counter. And this is like, thing about Medi, it has 2 different types, and it has 3 different ways of doing damage. Either fighting damage by doing counter, ice damage, which is against flyers because of Ice Punch, and psychic damage to hit everything that might resist both. And not that many Pokemons resist all those 3. In fact, no, there is no Pokemon that resists all the 3. Psychic, Ice Punch, Psychic, Ice, and Fighting. Venusaur has been known as a good lead because this Pokemon has always been a solid anti-meta Pokemon, like in the old ages of GBL back in Season 1 and 2, where people used to lead Azu and Swampert. Venusaur has been the nightmare for those 2 Pokemons. And then like in the middle ages around Season 4, when they introduced Stunfisk to the meta, and then people started pairing it with Azu, and the only Pokemon that could beat both is Venusaur. Why? Because it hits extremely hard from Frenzy Plant, which is a legacy move that Venusaur is able to learn during the Venusaur Community Day, or by using an Elite Charge TM. Probably the one that worth it the most, since this Pokemon is extremely good in the Great League and has never been bad. Toxapex is a Pokemon that has decent fast move pressure and it's extremely bulky. It's crazy bulky. It's the only Pokemon that can beat its own counter. It's one of very, very few Pokemons, in fact. Like, as an example, Medi is Psychic type. Psychic is supposed to beat Poison. But no, Toxapex beat Medi because you resist counter and you do neutral poison damage, and you can tank a Psychic like a champ. A Pokemon that I want to give like most credit to is I don't know why I have it as a lead. It's supposed to be a closer. Well, it's not a closer. It's a generalist. It's a Pokemon that is good in the lead, in the swap, in the back. It's a Pokemon that doesn't care about whatever your typing is. That's because it's the Pokemon that is shaping the meta now. It's the best Pokemon by far. These are like mainly the most common leads that you will see. And I would like to add another Pokemon that we've seen decent in the last Great League rotation, which is Alolan Sandslash. It's slightly taking over the Trevenant spot in the meta, since it's a Pokemon that can beat Lantern because it has a Drill Run and destroy Noctowl because it has Ice Punch and it's an Ice typing and it resists the flying damage. So the only way that Noctowl is able to hit it is Shadow Ball, where like Sandslash is able to outpace because it has Ice Punch. Sableye has been the best safe swap ever since this game the GBL was introduced to the game. Lickitung has been well, season 6, 7, 8, Lickitung was the best safe swap in Great League. Then it started falling off when they buffed Noctowl. But when they buffed Noctowl, Lickitung started falling off the meta because it just gets destroyed by Noctowl, and it's not a fun matchup. And the only way you could play it is by having some ABB, something destroy Noctowl in the lead, and you double weak to Noctowl in the back, and you use Lickitung to bait it out, and then you farm it down with your A. Dugong, this Pokemon got a huge buff. It got Drill Run. I don't think this Pokemon is supposed to get this move because it was extremely annoying, and I was happy because it wasn't part of the meta. Like, I was extremely happy. I don't like Dugong. I hate Dugong more than Bastion because this Pokemon is able sometimes to force a swap against the stuff that it's not supposed to beat. As an example, now it's able to force a swap against Lantern if you have Energy Lead. You destroy Water Gun Lantern because you outpace. And you get to 2 moves before they get to 2 moves. You don't have to call a bait while they have to call a bait. Well, the bait is Icy Wind, so it's is the music playing? Okay, yeah, the music is playing, sorry. These are like the main safe swaps, and you can never go wrong with Umbreon. I've seen this Pokemon always good. This Pokemon has never been bad. People just don't play it as much because people who have been playing since season 1 feel like they've used an Umbreon enough and they just want to try something else. That's the main reason. And Dubwool, which is a Pokemon that got released a year and a half ago, but we still haven't had an event where Dubwool is Wooloo spawn. There will be an event within 2 days, I think in 4 days from now, from the time we record the video. So make sure you grind Wooloo because this Pokemon is an extremely good safe swap. It's as good as Vigoroth. You know, like in Teamed Cups, people complain about Vigoroth. Dubwool is more annoying. Yeah. And it can win matchups where Vigoroth struggle. So make sure you get this Pokemon. Closets. Those Pokemon have like something unique, which is the ability to nuke, where like the other stuff don't have the ability to nuke. As an example, Diggersby can nuke with Hyper Beam or EQ. Registeel can nuke with Zap Cannon, Flash Cannon, or Focus Blast. The Swampert can nuke with EQ. Jeepus can nuke with EQ. Bastion can nuke by farming you down all the way, especially if you're a flyer. Azu can nuke you with Ice Beam, Flare Off, or Hydro Pump. And the Pokemon that was recently introduced to the game, and we get only one Pokemon of that, is Carbentech or Carbon. I don't know how the name of this Pokemon. It's basically a very fast move. A Fairy Bastiodon. So it's a Bastiodon that can beat the fighters. Yes, just as stupid as it sounds. It's a Bastiodon that doesn't care about the fighters. In fact, it beat Medi in the 0 and the 1. It can beat any fighter in the game. It's extremely bulky. And you can run Rock Throw or you can run Quick Attack. Why they give it Quick Attack, I have no idea. Okay? But whether you like it or no, it's part of the meta now. And if they run Quick Attack, you need a Ghost to wall that thing. You still might lose, by the way. Or you just need a Registeel, and you can just cheese through it. And that's the thing I love about Registeel. Whenever they introduce a new Pokemon, it loses hard to Registeel. Not all the time. Like when they introduced Trevenant, that was like a Registeel answer basically. But Trevenant now is nerfed, and it's not part of the meta anymore. In fact, it's a spicy Pokemon. what about other stuff? Like these are definitely not everything you will see. As an example, you might see someone like Pokemon running Gliscor. You might see someone like Frosty in the 1700 elo running Nidoqueen. You might see some Shadow Jumpluff. These Pokemons, all of them are usable, but they aren't as good as the meta Pokemon. Sirfetch'd, one of the probably the spammiest hard hitter Pokemons. Like if Sirfetch'd should throw a bait, the bait will do half of your HP. Frostlass, the queen of the themed cups. Any themed cup where you can use Frostlass. Frostlass is the top Pokemon. Vigoroth, the most annoying Pokemon in the game. Cresselia, a beast. Politoed, which is a Pokemon that's getting a community day soon, which is going to be the ice beam. I don't think it will help it that much, but the counter will definitely 100% help Poliwrath to be better. And Poliwrath might take Machamp's spot, but Machamp doesn't have a spot. Yeah, something there. A9. I think A9 is better now because after the nerf to Trevenant, we started seeing more fighters, which mean Charmander will actually be better. Dunsparce, they rebalanced rollout and made it slightly better. So Dunsparce now beats the Flyers and beat Registeel with up energy. The matchup isn't as annoying. Trevenant used to be the best Pokemon in the meta. Now it's a spicy Pokemon because it used to get to a bait every 5 fast move. Now it's every 6 fast moves. Why? They made Seed Bomb 45 energy instead of being 40. Ariados, it's a spicy Pokemon, especially if you're sniping a Steamer that's running Double Dark. You just safe swap Ariados and the game is GG. Piraton used to be good, not as much, because there is not that many water Pokemon. Well, there is many water Pokemons, but there is Noctowl, which just destroy every grass Pokemon. Skarmory, don't use it, please. So we've been talking about all these anti-meta. What about some spicy picks? Well, there is Golbat. It's actually usable. Pidgeot has some niche use in the meta. Galvantula isn't bad. Cradily got a decent buff. Decent buff to... and it has now Rock Slide. Alolan Grimer, Mud Bomb now is better. I don't think I added Shadow Quagsire. Shadow Quagsire is actually decent now. This is fine. So let's talk about the top meta teams and the current Great League. So I'm Yasser Ali. I'm expecting the best team to be Medi, Registeel, Carbink. Why? Because Medi beats what beats Carbink. Carbink loses to fighters technically. Medi beats all the fighters. And if they decide to run some ghosts, Registeel beats those. Carbink still has a play. So this is basically the best team on paper. Is it the best team? No. Is it gonna be like the most oppressive team? No. This is the team that's expected to be the best, and people will try in day one. And if you look here at the top right corner, there is the ranking for on PvPoke. So Carbink is number 1, Registeel number 2, Stunfisk is number 3, Swampert number 4, Medicham XL number 5, Swampert Shadows, Crafty, Pelipper, Lickitung is back, Quagsire, Machamp, Double, Noctowl, Sableye, Whiscash is actually better because of the buff to Mud Bomb, and Lantern is number 15 or 14 or 16, but in fact Lantern is still number 1, I think. So this is as expected to be the best meta team on paper. And as you guys know, we always advertise a team on this channel called the top 3 PvPoke. The top 3 PvPoke is actually Swampert. Swampert is number 4, so it's not supposed to be, but the top 3 lose to Swampert, so I have to change it into a top 4 PvPoke. Top 4. So Swampert, Registeel, Carbink. I think you need to run Flash Cannon Registeel with this team. I think. But it's up to you. But there is a team that has always been meta since they buffed Pelipper back in Season 3, I think. Pelipper Double Steel. You don't need to run Double Steel anymore. You can just run Pelipper, Registeel, Carbink. You don't have to run a second Steel. You can just run Carbink. Because the thing about Carbink that Bastion doesn't do is beating fighters. Carbink is capable of doing that. Bastion is not capable of doing that. In fact, a 10% HP fighter like Scrafty can counter down Bastion from full HP. With Carbink, you can't do that because they can run just quick attack. The most toxic team is still one of the most decent teams in the entire game. The Registeel, Shadowvec, Bastion. Now you can just replace the Bastion with Carbink, especially if you have a good IV Carbink, and you can have the option to run both, because whenever people see a safe swap Shadowvec, they assume it's a Basti in the back, so they save the fighter. So now just don't run Basti, run Carbink. Carbink beats the fighters. See, this is some strategies I give it to my viewers, especially the people who made it here 15 minutes far into the video. Another team I think is actually good and viable in this season will be Noctowl with Registeel and Quagsire. People used to run Swampert with this team. I think Quag is actually better, because Quag just destroys Lantern, while Swampert struggles to beat Water Gun Lantern, especially if you Shadow Swampert. While Shadow Quag destroys it because you outpace and you have Mud Bomb, while Swampert has to land EQ, or you just go straight Hydro Cannon, which is not that good of a matchup. Moving into some teams from previous seasons or previous Great League rotation. Number 1 team, it's my favorite team, used to be my favorite, Stunfisk, Sableye, Pelipper. This team used to be number 1 on, after I made it, we posted on YouTube, then people started running it, and this team became number 1 most used team in the Great League. I have a video about that. Whenever you see a YouTube icon, that means there is a video about that. You can check the video. The name of the video is the top rated team on PvPoke, my team, Pokemon Go PvP. Go copy that, paste it on the search bar, and you will get the direct link to this video. So the good thing about this team is still solid. You beat Carbink with Sableye, you beat it with Pelipper, as long as Pelipper to Carbink. That's a horrible matchup actually. But yeah, you have 2 answers to Medi, you have 2 answers to Carbink. You play around that, and the good thing about this team, you could literally change the lead and the swap to any Pokemon. We have 3 safe swaps, and we have 3 generalist Pokemons. Lantern is tough to beat, especially if it's Water Gun in the lead. And the back, it's fine. If it's a Spark, it's also fine. Another team I used to run before, which is the Stunfisk Double Ghost. There is a YouTube video about this. Is the best open Great League team, and I had a decent run with it. So whenever you see a Trevenant, you could replace that Trevenant with Carbink, by the way, and then you can just run Sableye, Stunfisk, Carbink. The team that was everywhere last season, which is the Medi, Noctowl, Lantern, you could literally still run that team, and you have 2 answers to Carbink. Medi only wins the 2, by the way, so you don't win the 0 and the 1. So just make sure. So this is a soft answer, this is a hard answer. This thing loses to Carbink, but it beats the stuff that's supposed to beat Carbink. What about Water Gun Lantern? No, it doesn't. Water Gun Lantern is actually tough for this team. Spark is more, much easier to handle. There was a team FP6 used to run back in Season 4, which is the Stunfisk, Pelipper, or Sableye with Venusaur. This team is good. This team is decent. This team is more than just good or decent, okay? Venusaur, destroy Carbink, beats the fighters, beats Sableye, and it's too decent. G-Fisk is the anti-flyers here, / anti-steal as well. So you have 2 answers to Medi in the back, either the Pelipper or the Sableye with the Venusaur. Venusaur can beat Medi because you win CMP and you get the move at the same time. There is a team I wanted to feature, which is the Chestnut team. I don't know who first made this team, but all I know is that Wholesome ran this team a lot last season, and he helped in making this team, helped in popularizing this team. If you like Chestnut, you could go and give Wholesome _ a follow on the Wholesome _. I am not sure if he still played it or no, but Chestnut is extremely underrated of a Pokemon. Like, people don't give this Pokemon enough respect. It's like better. It's a better version of Meganium and a better version of Venusaur against the Steel, because this Pokemon beats the Steel. You can beat Medi, by the way, but you need to be like a good IV, because you might not live Ice Punch plus the counter, so you need to find a way to play around that. There is a team that I saw a couple people running, which is the Deoxys Defense Double Ice. Why Deoxys Defense? Because this team, basically, you destroy all the Flyards everywhere, wherever you see them. DD has a niche play against the Flyards. It's not the worst, it's actually not the best as well. but you have 2 hard answers in the back, and DD beats Medi. You use Dugong to bait out the Medi. Why not A slash? Because A slash dies to 3 counters, while Dugong can actually hang around that because Dugong is too bulky and just spam Icy Wind and you make Medi useless. A team that deserves mentioning, which is the Mud Boy Double Flyers. I think this team at one point was the #1 team on PvPoke, and there is a couple variant of this team. The Swampert Double Flyers or the G-Fisk Double Flyer. With the G-Fisk, you need Altaria. With the G-Fisk, you need Altaria. With the Swampert, you need Pidgeot. Just like that. With the Swampert, you need Pidgeot. With the G-Fisk version, you need Altaria. I think Yonkas made a video about this team. Toxapix team, I think this Pokemon deserves some respect in the current meta. Toxapix with Dubwall or Medi. So if you run Medi, you run Licky. If you run Umbreon, you run Dubwall. Why? I don't think there is an answer why. Because, I don't know why. You could run Dubwall with either of those, but for Medi, you need Licky. Medi with Licky makes a decent core. And there's always the Walwar triple counter team, which has been a solid team ever since they introduced Obstacle to the meta. And I'm not gonna make it a long video, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. This is the end of the video. If you like the video, please leave a like, visit the channel, make sure to subscribe, and see you in the next video, which will be the top teams in the Remix Cup. So make sure to stay tuned and check the channel whenever you can. Peace.